Yeah, just me. A little early. Squeaky chair. See what happens. If you're rewatching this at a later date, I'm like 5 minutes early, so I think it's just me in here. So maybe scroll ahead for 5 minutes. Use the scroll button to move up. But I'm probably going to wait an extra 5 minutes after 8 o'clock just to get some folks in here. I got some people coming in. I'm going to wait like 5-10 minutes, see who gets. Actually, about 5 after 8 before I actually launch into anything. So grab a coffee. That's what I'm drinking, or whatever you need to get through this stuff, I guess. But I'm 3 minutes early, so a little early. So for you that are out there watching right now, I'm going to give away this tonight. It's an Odelfi headlamp. I've had this or some of my early videos. You may have seen this, and I have one here. I don't really endorse products, but if something's neat and it works and I use it, oh, look at that. It's crazy. And that's a motion setting then. There's a little spot on it. Sorry if I blinded you there, but I'm going to give away one of those tonight. So I'm going to throw out a question, and whoever the first one is that responds with it, then they'll get it. Oh, hi. I just opened up my channel. Hi there. Thanks on the shirt. Yeah, that was Carlisle Ford National shirt. I think there's some of those out on eBay. People ask me where I got it, and they can be found out on eBay. With baby can't comment. No, I got it. So just hang in there. I'm going to get to the announcements at like 5 after 8. So I got in here a little early. I have a new webcam, so I wanted to check it out. I think it's doing okay. The picture looks okay. Hopefully you can hear me all right. But yeah, as soon as I plug it in, the driver's old. I have to update the software. You know, what else is new? So I got in here about a half hour early just to try to work through those bugs. Is my Mach 1 tuned? No, it isn't. And I'm waiting on a tune. I want to. And for those that don't know, my SVO is up for sale. Not that I dislike the car. I have too many vehicles. So I've got 6 here. I've got my 70 Mach 1, which I haven't looked at in a while. I think it gave me dirty looks the other day when I got in the garage. I've got my 2022 Mach 1. I've got the 86 SVO. I've got a 2018 F-150, and I've got my wife's BMW, and she has a Fiat Spider. That's just too much going on there. So it's too many oil changes all the time. It's too much going on with it. So I think I'm going to let the SVO go. So it's advertised out on Facebook Marketplace if somebody's looking for one of those. It's not a bad car. I have to park it outside, and I hate that. And getting back to the Mach 1, I do want to put some long tube headers on it. I do not want to boost this car. I don't want to turbo it. I don't want a Whipple. It's just not what I'm looking to do. But I think I'd like to add some long tubes to it. And when I do that, that would be the time to tune the car. So those things kind of go hand in hand. So it's not tuned yet, and that's why. Lund tuned on yours. Like I said, I think if I'm going to throw long tubes on it, I'm going to want to do some sort of custom tune. Um, and yeah, I'm going to end up having to take that to a shop somewhere. I don't think it'd be that big an issue to put tatters on it in the garage, but I think that at that point it would need a tune. And, I can't tune it. I'm not a tuner. So I'd have to, probably going to have to take it to a buddy's shop and get headers on it and then have him run on a dyno and set up a tune for it just to see what we can pull. So the car was at 418 stock. So I want to see where I can get with some long tubes. If I pick up another 20-ish horsepower, I'd be happy with that. It's not bad. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. What time we got? 8:01. So I got a little bit of time here. Yeah, I'm going to throw out a trivia question for one of these Odelphi's. So, and it's just going to be a random point. At some point in time, I'm going to just throw it out there. And the first person to get it in the comment section, I'm going to mail that thing out to you. It's brand new in the box. You're going to have to plug it into a USB port and charge it up. But I love that headlamp. I've had the headlamps with the LEDs on it that kind of stick out in your head and flop around, and they're always in the way. This thing's great. Love it. I use it for everything. I use it when I vacuum the car out because I can see real well up into the footwells. So that's the only product I endorse. And I only endorse, I have people send me stuff all the time and then it's junk. So I won't tell you about something I'm not going to use myself. I'm just not going to do that. And that's part of the channel announcements for this evening. Favorite Ford is a 91 Grand Marquis. Square body Fords. The Grand Marquis, Crown Vics, neat cars. I used to work for a guy at a Ford dealer back in the late 80s. And my sales manager, always drove a Crown Vic. That was his demo of choice. Always two-tone gray interior, loaded up. And those cars kind of had that, I guess it wasn't police suspension. It was more of that kind of float along suspension. It rode nice down the highway, and he just loved those cars. So I've got 15 in here. I got a couple more minutes, and then I'm actually going to throw some questions at you guys. So I'm going to look for some feedback from you. I probably watch YouTube more than anybody. Well, not more than anybody, but a good bit of my time spent watching YouTube, and I see things happening, and they're things that I know I don't ever want to do. So let's get into it now. So I've got 15 people in there. Hey, Stressed Out, how's it going? So let's talk to the channel. I don't want to have a Patreon ever. Not going to happen. I do not want to have members only content. I don't want you to have to pay to see what my hobby is, basically, because this is a hobby to me. It's not a profession. I don't want to have sponsored content. Now, that said, if I come across something that I like and I think is a good product and I use it and it works out okay, I'll let you know. But if I don't, I don't want to be sponsored by health drinks. I drink coffee. That's what I drink. So, I just don't want to do sponsored content. I think that it's just not a great thing for a channel to endorse something that you may or may not use. I don't want to have super thanks. I don't want you to feel like you have to support my hobby. There's no reason for you to do that. You have to get through the ads. And I hope that all of them are short and skippable for you, but that's your price of admission. You have to watch the advertising. So that's all you really have to do. I don't want you to feel like you have to throw me a buck or two to this channel. There's no reason for that ever. So I hope that's okay with everybody. I understand why other YouTubers do that. Like I said, for me, this is a hobby, and it's always going to be a hobby. For them, they're trying to support a family. They have people that work for them, and that this is my whole staff. It's all right here. I do all the editing. I do all the research. I write the scripts. I do all the camera work. The camera work's not the greatest, but do the best I can there. But yeah, it's a hobby for me. So I don't foresee, no matter how many subscribers, and thank you for helping me get to 15,000. But regardless of how many subscribers subscribe to this channel, I don't want to have to feel as if the people that support my work or my hobby should also throw bucks at it. I just don't think I know that's not where I want to be. So I get that other people that provide content or make videos on YouTube, they need to do that. They have other things going on. That's not me. So yeah, I don't ever want to do that. So that's kind of out of the way there. Once again, if there is a product that someone sends me and I think it's a good product that you'll use, I'll probably show it to you. That's about it. That's rare. So I've got a lot of products sent to me that end up in the trash, and that's where they go. So I'm not going to bring those things up. Hello from Higgins Lake, Michigan. Hi there. How's it going, Brian? Good to see you. Next thing I want to talk to you about, and this is something I will ask you to do, but it's completely voluntary. I am a organizer for a group called Rally North America. We do an automotive scavenger hunt, and it takes place multiple days. This year it's 3.5 days, and we're running from Syracuse, New York, and working our way up the mountains over to a place called Camp Sunshine in Costco, Maine. Camp Sunshine is the only camp in the nation that brings the whole family unit to it. They work with a family that has a child with a near-death illness. I did put a link in the description of this chat session. If you want to do a super thanks, maybe throw $5 at it, that's where you do it at. That's a direct link donation. It's a secure site. So if you want to do that, that's awesome. As a group this year, we've raised a little over $70,000 so far for the camp. And I started doing this back in 2010. So it's been a while. But our group, Rally North America, has raised over $2.5 million in direct donations for 4 different charities. I also do that as a volunteer. That's as much of a hobby as this YouTube thing is. There's also a television show if you want to see what that's about. You can find it on Tubi. That's also free. It's called Rally North America. You can go direct into Tubi and stream. We've got 3 seasons out now. I understand the 4th season is going to drop sometime in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So sometime in July, the 4th season should drop. Okay. Does anybody have any questions out there? That's kind of my channel announcements. I hope you're okay with not seeing sponsored content or me asking you for dollars, because this is not going to happen. Looking at a 2024 Mustang GT, learned about the Boss 302. So I'm not real quick to look at a 2024 Mustang. There's one reason too, and that's the satellite link. I'm not a fan of that. I have that satellite link in my 2022 Mach 1, and Ford can, via satellite, update my audio system, and that's it. And I'm okay with that. If they've already destroyed my ability to use an MP3 player, which pissed me off, but yeah, it's an audio system, not a big deal. On the 2024 Mustangs and up, everything from here on out, and I think it actually was added to the trucks a couple of years ago, they can go right into your ECM, which is a little disturbing. Not that they would, but the fact that they could, I'm not a big fan of that. I really don't. I want to buy a product from someone. I don't want to live with them. So if I buy a new car, I want to take it home, and it's my car at that point. There's a warranty issue, sure, fix it. I'll let you know. But I don't really need you looking at my driving habits or looking at what's going on with the car's history or what tune might be on it. That's not something that I think should be on these cars. It's a little scary, a little disheartening, a lot of Big Brother going on there. So yeah, I haven't looked at the newer Mustangs. I've seen them in person. They look okay. I'm getting used to the new S750, even though it's a 650 that's just been massaged. But the whole spy thing has me kind of a little gun shy. I owned a 2013 Boss 302. Love that car. The MT82 transmission is definitely a weak point of that car. My car suffered from shift lockout from new. So the first 1,300 miles I owned it was did one of my scavenger hunt events. And one of our stops was at a drag strip. And I lost a drag race to a Camaro because there was no second gear. So anything over 7,000 RPM, my Boss 302 would lock out. I couldn't get second, couldn't get third. Very frustrating. So that's something to look at in the Boss 302. But overall, the Boss 302 was a great car. I owned it for the better part of 7 years. Put 45,000 miles on it. Never had an issue with it. So good car. What else is here? Message restricted. Uh-oh, Aaron. I don't know what you said. If there's profanity in there, it's not me. It's just the filter from YouTube. So I don't know. Maybe rephrase that. Stressed out says Big Brother. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. I love Ford products. I mean, I have a whole channel about them, but I don't really need them looking at my history, what I do with their cars. It's not welcome. So yeah, it's bad. There's information there that they could share with insurance companies. They could share that with law enforcement. Yeah, not good that they can just go in and update stuff and or retrieve information via a satellite. It's kind of scary. So they can spy on you or something. Yeah, Ron, they can see everything you've done in your vehicle. So they've been able to do that for years. But in the past, they would have to tie into your ECM. So you'd have to bring it to the dealer and they'd have to go into the ECM and look at the history. Now they can do it anywhere they want. They can do it remotely and they can do it via satellite. It's possible you could take your car to a tuner, have them load a tune in your car, you park it outside overnight, they satellite down and tune going. They just revert it back to factory specs and that's how it goes. And I don't even know how that's legal, but apparently it is. So yeah, that's a little creepy. Yeah, Ron, it is a little creepy. What else? Anybody else have any questions on anything? Anything you've been thinking about? Any of the videos I put out there? Can I have two different wheel alignments at the same time? No, not that I know of. I mean, your wheel alignments are going to be set and they're locked in. So I don't know if you're looking at toe out for handling or what you're looking at, but yeah, no, not that I know of. I don't know anyone that has a changeable wheel alignment. You can change your damper settings, sure. I mean, the Magna cars do that kind of automatically, or they can do it electronically. The Boss 302, it used to have a 5-position switch that you could set the firmness of your dampers. But as far as alignments, now you're kind of, whatever you set in there is where she's going to be. So yeah, not that, I can't think of any way to do that anyway. So Stressed Out says the insurance companies go out and pull the black boxes after accidents. Well, sure. Yeah, they could do that. They've been able to do that for years. But now with the 2024, at least with a 2024 and up Mustang, they don't have to go and pull the box. They can just do it. Now I have dash cams in all my vehicles. And if you don't have a dash cam, I recommend you get a dash cam. I have a video on the site of my accident, which was absolutely nothing to do with my driving. I'm just driving along and it was wet and a girl hydroplaned a little bit. And instead of holding onto the wheel, she full crank left and her front axle went into my rear axle and broke both her front axle and my rear axle and spun the car. And a second later, I was head on into a guardrail at 45 miles an hour. That dash cam was something that I could show the insurance companies. I could show the police. That left no doubt as to what had happened. But that's up to me. That's not up to whomever. Now, I don't know that it would benefit Ford to share information with an insurance company, especially on a car like a Mustang GT. But I don't think they need to see what I'm doing with their product. I don't have that issue with my vacuum. I don't have a smart lawnmower. John Deere doesn't know what happens when I mow the lawn. I bought a product from them. I use it the way I want to use it, and I use it the way I intend to use it, and that's also how I maintain it. They put a warranty on it, but how can they have surveillance on you when it's they don't even warranty it? So how can they continue to see what you're doing. It just seems wrong. So yeah, I have a that's my problem with the. If I was going to buy a newer Mustang, try to find a 2023 or 20, especially now, because I don't know how many people have been paying attention to the used car market, but it's down and down considerably. So you can buy a 2023 Mach 1 now, load it up for between 45 and 50 pretty easily. So there's some value there in the used car market. Again, that's coming back. If anyone is considering an EV, now's the time to buy a year-old one, because I've been looking at the prices of those things, and it is tanking. So, yeah, if you're thinking, yeah, Mach-E may be your worst nightmare as far as the name of a Mustang, but man, those cars are cheap right now. So, like 25 grand will buy you a 1-year-old Mach-E with 10,000 miles on it, that's pretty cheap. So, something to throw out there. Burns, thanks so much. I'm just going to burn through the questions here real quick. OnStar shut them down at 160. That's nice. Hey, Wes, how's it going? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I just don't like the idea of being shut down by, well, not so much being shut down. I don't think that Ford is going to let you know what's going on, that they're watching you. But just the fact that they can, and they can do it via satellite, is creepy. So, yeah, I don't like that. So I don't have my smart TV hooked up for the same reason. So I just don't, I don't want them looking at what I'm doing. So at the end of this live session, I'll shut that webcam down and it's going to get the cover on it, and that's that. So I still operate off a desktop. I don't have a laptop here with a mic and a camera. So I still roll off a desktop. So yeah, I just don't want people, whoever, looking in on what I'm doing. I don't think it's right. What else do I want to talk to you guys about? I've got some videos coming up. I'm looking at the bigger T-Birds. So your second, third, and fourth gen Thunderbirds. That video is dropping Saturday. And that took way longer than I would have thought it did. Back then, Ford used to change stuff every year. So almost every year, the car got refreshed. And I was born in 65, so I wasn't aware of that happening. I see one of those Thunderbirds, and I know it's from the 60s, but that's about it. But I did a deep dive in it, and it's like, well, 62 is different than the 63, is different than the 64, is different than there's no carryover years. So if you watch my video, it's like, it's a carryover year. They did this or that, and that's it. Let's move on. Not so with the bigger Thunderbirds. So that video is dropping Saturday if you want to watch that. I did find it interesting that they come up with stuff every single year for cars. And that doesn't happen now at all. So, we had the S550 forever until the S650 came out. Wasn't like that back then. So they didn't just say, oh, here's a special model this year. They just redid the whole front end of the car just because. There's a new clip for you. Here's new taillights just because it's a new model. So yeah, that was kind of interesting to look at that. So I hope you check that out. I just finished a video today that I spent more time on the intro and exit, and I'm not going to tell you the car yet. It's going to drop in 2 weeks, but it has more to do with Ford Motor Company and the things that were going around Ford Motor Company and how it shaped this car more so than the car itself. So it's a car that they never should have built. It just shouldn't have happened, but it happened because of what management was doing. And there was a change in management, and that change in management actually saved Ford Motor Company. And so I hope you watch that one. That's going to be 3 weeks from now. If anyone out there has an older vehicle and you have sun faded carpet, I have a video coming out in 2 weeks. I use RIT dye. So I don't know if you know what RIT dye is, but my kids used to tie dye t-shirts and they would buy RIT dye. So back then, I think it was $10 a bottle. But my SVO, the sun was faded. Sun faded to carpets. So it has a sunroof, and somebody used to pop that out, I guess. And the UV protection in the glass, I guess, wasn't as good back in '86 as it is now. But the sun had faded the carpets. It's gray, But some of it. Oh, and someone spilled bleach in it too, which that didn't help. So there was white spots on the carpet, and they were different shades of gray. So I bought a bottle of Rit dye for $12, pulled the seats out. I have a little shampooer here. I used that on it to get there's a stain in there, get the old soda out of it. Um, put that Rit dye in a bottle, and I'll show you the formula in the video. That carpet looks awesome. It looks exactly the color of Rit dye. It was simple, uh, easy to do. Anybody can do this. So if you have auto carpet that's not the right color and you want to restore it, you can do it for, I think this bottle was $14. So $14 in a disposable spray bottle, and you can restore the color of your carpet. I don't want to tell you can change the color because I don't know that to be the case. But I want it to be one shade of gray, not, this kind of gray, and then this is kind of orange because the sun hit it, and this is white over here because there's some bleach spots. It all came out. It's all gray. It's all the same color. So great stuff. And that's unpaid endorsement. Rit didn't pay me. So they don't even have instructions on how to do a car carpet with it. But it worked out really well. So how many people we got here? 15 people. Any questions on any of the videos that have dropped recently? Anything on any of that? I'm going to have some more Mach 1 stuff coming out. The new Mach 1. That's going to be coming out at some point here when I get an appointment to get headers on it. It's going to be some point later summer. So probably get the headers on it, get it tuned right before I put it away for winter. So that'll be coming out then. So no questions, nothing's going on. You guys all waiting for me to give away this headlamp? Yes, no? How many do I have? 17. If I can get 20 users in here, I'll throw out my trivia question. Any full-size sedan stuff coming out? Yeah, but it's newer. So yeah, Ron, there is some full-size sedan stuff coming out, but it's the mid-2000s full-size sedan. So that's coming out. Which headers are you going with? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm really going to talk to my tuner before I order headers, because I'm going to have to go there to do it. Because if I do it here in my garage, I'm going to end up going there anyway to get it tuned. So I'm going to talk to him. He's constantly has Mustangs in there, so he's going to tell me which way to go. So whichever one he recommends, that's the way I'm going to go. I'll probably try to get ceramic coated if I can, just because I have rusty ones on my 70. I really don't need rusty ones on this one. So it's going to be up to him. Whatever he says is the easiest to install and less intrusive, I guess, or less, we don't have to bang on them to get them in. So like my 70, my old muscle cars, every time you put a set of headers on there, you needed a torch and a ball peen hammer, because inevitably one of the pipes is going to have to get altered a bit. So whichever header set out there needs the less amount of alterations is the one I'm going to use. So that's where we're going. Cats. Which headers? Catalytic conversion. Yeah, I'm leaving the cats in the car. There's no reason to take them out. The new cats are, Wes, I'm going to go with a custom tune. So my tuner's going to tune this car. Catalytic conversion is going to stay on the new car. There's no reason. I live in a county where I don't have to pass emissions. I don't have to get tested at all. So my mechanic simply has to look at the vehicle. If it looks factory, he can put a sticker on it. I don't even have to get an emission sticker where I live. That said, I don't see a reason to take the cats off. I don't think they really hurt the vehicle that much. It's not going to be a problem there. So yeah, there will be cats on it. What brand of cats? Once again, I'm going to leave it up to my tuner. So I have a guy that he tunes. His shop has constantly got a rotating 25 car bay. So whichever way he tells me to go, he's done this many more times than I have. So he's going to tell me, hey, if it were me, this is what I do. And that's where I'm going. So yeah, it's up to the tuner there. But I'll let you know. I'm going to film the whole thing while I'm down there. So this stuff's all emissions legal. So he doesn't have to go to lunch while I pull out an intake restriction. So I can sit there and film it, and I'll give him a hand putting the headers on and we'll go through the uh, dyno pool and see what we get afterwards. So there'll be a base before and after on the dyno, and we'll see what we can pick up with the headers and then with the headers and his tune. But if I'm anywhere 440, I'd be ecstatic. So if I pick up 20-ish horsepower from long tubes, that's going to be fine. So I think that's doable. Oh, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. What state am I in? I'm in Pennsylvania. So I'm in central Pennsylvania, so close to Carlisle. So if you know where the Ford Nationals are in Carlisle, it's about a 20-ish minute drive for me. So I can make it there pretty easily. And thanks for the sub. That's appreciated. So I hope you guys like the content. I'm doing a lot of bouncing around in Ford's vehicle lineup history, but I'm kind of doing the vehicles that I want to see or I want to learn about. So they're going to be bouncing around as far as the years. We're probably not going to get into the Model T too much because I don't know anything about them. But I would say anything from the 50s to now, you could see a video on at some point. Another thing I got to clear up, and this happens with every single video, I have someone that's going to correct me on something. And once again, it's just, it's me. I'm over here's your editor, here's your camera guy, here's your research department. I do the script writing. I'm going to make mistakes. There's just no way around it. And the other problem is I have to do my research on the web. So I have to go out on the internet and look. I can use sales literature. I have access to Ford sales literature, so I can go back to that. But I can give you a great example on one of the cars I know for a fact the sales literature was wrong with, and that's the 70 Torino. If you can find sales literature on a 70 Torino, it says that you can order a Boss 429. Never happened. They just printed the literature long before the car hit the showroom, and that's the case with most of these vehicles. And a lot of times I go off the sales literature. So if you hear something in the video and you're like, I don't know if that happened that year, it happened in the sales literature, I can tell you that. Now, whether it happened in actuality, that's another story. So, but I can only go off of what I read and what I can find. And there's times where that information is conflicting. One source says this and one source says that. If I'm lucky, I can find another third party that'll confirm one of the two. But yeah, there's going to be some mistakes in some of these videos. So I apologize for that. That's going to continue. I assure you of that. So my not mistake-free video legacy is going to continue on. There's going to be a mistake here and there in probably every video. And like I said, some of that is just the information isn't out there and I have to go with what's in the sales literature and it's off. So that happens. Wes is at 436 with no headers and just a 93 tune. I get it, Wes. I'm at 418 right now. And I don't have a tune on either. So all I did was pull the hydrocarbon trap, right? So that's the only thing that's been done to my car. I do want to get a tune, but I'm going to do headers and a tune at the same time. I'd like to be just a little north of where you are, if I could. I got 23 people. I'm going to give this away. So, and whoever, I guess you could search this to try to figure out what the answer is. But it is, I'll tell you this, it is a Ford product, but it has to do with the rear view mirror. So at one point in time, if you get in any new car now, the rear view mirror is glued to your windshield. It's chemically bonded is the fancy word for it, but they glued it to your windshield. What was the first Ford and the first car to have a chemically bonded rear view mirror as standard equipment? So go. Let's see what you got. Everybody's typing. Nobody knows. So I got 23 people in here. Nobody knows. Thank you, Costa. And I'll get your question here as soon as I get the right answer, because whoever gives me the right answer on this question. So what was the first car? Nope, not a Tempo. First car to have and it's a Ford product. Town car. No. Nope. I want the year and the model. So you got to get specific on me. But it was a first. Every car you see now has a rear view mirror attached to the window, and it's glued on there. But what was the first car? Nope, not a Taurus. Nope, not it. I think you're going to be guessing a long time if you're just going to guess. But I want the year. I want the year and the model of the car. And I got it written right down here. Homeowners 23. Somebody's got to be able to Google this quicker than that. Nope, not a 2000 town car. So they used to be, back the English cars had them mounted to the dash. And if you look at like a lot of cars from the 50s, they had them bolted to the ceiling of the car. They'd be screwed into the ceiling of the car. So they were on a dash, which a lot of the European cars had them on the dash, where they were up on the. Is it a big car? Well, when it was released, it was considered mid-size. How's that? So when this car was released, it was considered to be a mid-size car. But that's, that was a sign of the times, I think. So I don't know if that helps, Shani. Someone's going to want this headlamp. These things are nice. Brand new in the box. I'm going to mail it right to your place. I'll get your information offline. Someone's going to get this. You all have Google machines. Break them out. You can figure this out. If nobody knows, I'm going to have to give this away on the next live session, I think. I would have thought somebody would have got this quick. But it's the first car to have its rear view mirror glued to the windshield. Nobody's getting this. We might be here a little bit. Oh, somebody texted me an answer. Nope. 67 Mustang. Nope. 91 Escort. No. Popcorn. Yeah, we're waiting on it, I guess. I should get some popcorn. I can't believe that no one's got this. I'm going to let it go. And just let it go. Someone's going to get this. That's a pretty definable thing to look for. So you can certainly find it. It's the first car to have its rearview mirror glued to the windshield, or chemically adhered to the windshield, I think is what they call it. Not a 1964, Tim. No. Good, but no. See, I had to do this. I run out of coffee gassing. Well, you can get more coffee. You can always get more coffee. I thought this was going to be a competition. I thought there was going to be like just bang bang on the keyboards or using your thumbs to get this thing. I thought you were going to get this pretty easily. No. Well, another video I'm going to have coming up, and I'll talk, and I'll keep watching. We'll see, because see what happens. A 1911 Marmon Wasp. No, that's not it. I don't even know if they had glue in 1911. Google doesn't know. Kitchen's too far away. I want to see the answer. Well, the answer will be there. You can go. Stressed out is very, very close. But not quite. You're getting warm. I'll put it that way. Well, now you guys, CJ is close as well, but Wes has one of those headlamps. Yeah, those headlamps are awesome. I take that everywhere. 64 Falcon, no. 65 T-Bird, no. Mercury Montego, no. I'll give you a hint here. It was the car, it was advertised as the car everyone would love to own. That's the way Ford advertised it. And that was a 1-year campaign. I don't know why that didn't go longer. I guess it should have. But yeah, it's the car that everyone would love to own. What decade? I don't want to say because it's just going to give it away. If I tell you, it's going to give it away. I got to have somebody coming in via text because no, because they can't get on the chat session on their phone. So they're trying to text me answers. So I'll give you another hint here. It's between the 50s and the 70s. How's that? So that's your range. Nope, 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 Tim, no. I'll give you another hint. It was also the first car that had the tilt away steering wheel. So when you got in, the steering wheel was tilted away, and you could when you got out, you hit a lever, and the whole steering column would shift off. So when that came out, this rearview mirror came out, and they put that in their advertisements, actually in their print media. So not a park lane, not a 66 Fairlane. So my buddy's got a 70 Shelby, and that'll tell you how Shelby shifted from when they first came out as almost race car to the 70s, only 5 years later, and they had a tilt-away steering wheel in it because that never would have made it into a Carroll Shelby car. So, but yeah, my buddy's got a tilt-away steering wheel in his 70 Shelby. So the Shelby's kind of got steered away from Shelby by 1970. All right, well, let's keep going. So I'm going to put the 70 Mustang. There's going to be some stuff on that. Oh, so close. Stressed out. So close. Are you guys looking out there? Are you looking? I know somebody went to get coffee. So Ron went to get coffee, but we're almost there. So the tilt-away steering wheel. No, I'm not coming on. You got to earn this thing. Yeah, but no, it wasn't. Grok, no, it wasn't. Nope, it wasn't a Mustang. Mustangs were always the last to get the features. They didn't need extra equipment to sell Mustangs. They were always the last. The only Mustangs that got the extra equipment, usually performance equipment, right? So I think my 68 still had the mirror mounted to the top of the car, top of the roof. 60 Thunderbird. There you go, David Roush. Congratulations, David. You won yourself an Odelfi headlamp. So yeah, the 60 Thunderbird. They put that was a big deal for them in 1960. It was one of their improvements. One of the reasons you should buy a new car because your rearview mirror was glued to your windshield. So David wins. So congratulations on that. I have my contact information down below. You can send it to, just drop me an email, David. It's tony@rallynorthamerica.com. So that's on my channel. Just drop me an email there. Give me your address, and I'll get this thing out to you right away. You're gonna love this thing. They're actually really nice. I've been buying giving away as Christmas gifts because my kids see me using it at nighttime to look for things, and they all wanted them. So all my kids have them now. So they're pretty neat. Yeah, it's a 60 Thunderbird. So I have it written right here. See right there. It's 1960 Thunderbird. That said glued. I don't know if it looks like glued, but I can read it. So it's okay there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I thought that was going to be easy. I thought you guys were going to pull that out really quick. I was worried that, well, that's going to take 10 seconds. But we were there for a while. So that took a while on it. Let me know what cars that I haven't done a look at that you'd like to know about. If there's a car line. Now, I don't want you to give me, don't say F-150, right? I can't do the entire history of the F-150. I did the entire history of the Torinos, and that about killed me. So that was 40 hours worth of work, and it's a 40-minute video. So it's about an hour a minute on these videos. So, But if there's something out there that you'd like me to, do a video on, let me know. If there's something I haven't, like somebody mentioned, my kind of on my short list to take a look at. But if there's a car line out there or a Mercury or Ford product um, that you like to see me take a look at, by all means, I'd rather you tell me in here than shoot it in the comments section. So I try to read all the comments that come in, and I'll usually like the ones that, have something nice to say. Guys that come in there and say all Fords suck, I usually just try to ignore now. So that was a thing for a while, and sometimes it got personal. I've got, I think, 15 users blocked in the history of this channel. So if it gets too personal, I'm just not going to listen to it. I don't have time for it. But very rare that happens. 89 town car. Come on now, Ron. It's not. It's not an 89 town car. So by 89, they had the automatic climate control feature happening. I think where you had the temperature. Wasn't that digitally? Hit it digitally. You put it in there. LED lights lit up, and you tell it you want it to be 82. I never thought those things actually functioned. So I think it was just a gimmick, and it was no different than turning a knob. I don't know that they work in today's cars. Does anybody think that when you set the temperature on the dash to a certain degree, that it actually is going to set that amount of air conditioning coming out to that temperature? I'm gonna have to check that. Maybe I ought to check that. I don't believe that's a thing. So, video. Oh, I got you on the town cars. I've been thinking about the town cars, and also, yeah, let me write that down. So I've been thinking about doing something on the town cars. I'll probably 80 to 89. I thought you meant for the mirror. That's my fault, buddy. Sorry. So 80 to 89 town cars. I've been thinking about doing something with the town cars, and I really have no idea. Like I do a video on a car just because I find it interesting. So I don't know what people are going to watch. So when I put out that Aerostar video, no clue that was going to get 40,000 whatever views in a month. No idea. But yeah, I would take a look at the town cars for sure. Not a Ford guy. Well, I appreciate you being in here and working on them. Well, if you're working on Fords, bless you. So welcome. Probably not as easy as if you're not a Ford guy. You're probably a Chevy guy, Dodge guy. I've had every make and model. So I've had Ramblers, I've had American Motors products, I've had Mopars, I've had Chevys, I had Chevelles, I've had Challengers, I had a Super Bee for a number of years. So I've had every make and model at some point in time. I used to go through cars like some people go through shoes. So I think by the time I owned my first car when I was 13. So I traded a Schwinn 12-speed for a Toyota Corolla. So it was like a 73. And it didn't have brakes. I had to use the handbrake on the car. And I was, kid. I drive around the cornfields around my house. And from that, I went to an LTD, a 71 LTD, and then to a 67 Mustang, 6-cylinder, 3-speed manual. Then I went to a 69 Fairlane. But this is all within, by the time I was 21, I think I've had 30 cars by then. But I had a Grand Prix, a 72 Grand Prix. I have a hard time remembering them all. I had a 72 Chevelle for a while. I had 4 or 5 different Javelins there for a little bit. So I've had them all. But for some reason, and I don't know if it's me or whatever, I've just had the least amount of problems with Fords. So the problems I've had sometimes have been catastrophic. I've blown up a couple of engines, but nothing real nagging. So like the Chevys I owned, they nagged me. So today I need a fuel pump. Tomorrow I need this. The next day I need that. And then nothing big, but just annoying. So with the Fords I've had pretty good luck with them. Either that or they just die. And I'd almost prefer that. So I prefer it's either going to do the job or don't do the job. But the Chevys I've had, maybe I just had the wrong ones. So maybe that's what happens. But they've just annoyed me because I'd have problems with this and I have to fix it. And then I fix it and then it's something else. And then it's the other thing. And Now I'm over here, and then this is going on. So yeah, that just annoyed me at some point. Plus, I never liked reaching behind the engine to get the distributor. So I never liked that, especially when I set points. So I like to set points way in the back. So I prefer the Dodges and really the six-cylinder cars. Some of my favorites because they're the easiest. The straight six, piece of cake. Take that all day long. Let's see what else I got in the comments. Big 302 V8, no problem, man. Okay, good. What's that say? Oh, Ford vehicles and the police. Night, Ron. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Appreciate it. History of the Ford vehicles. I thought about doing something with the SPP Mustangs, the Special Pursuit Mustangs, but I kind of picked them up in the Fox bodies. And Ford's for the longest time was Crown Vics. And the other thing with the police vehicles, a lot of those, when I go through I don't know when you jumped in, Aaron, but I look at all the sales literature. And a lot of times within that sales literature, Ford has a heritage vault. Anybody can go in there. It's I can give you a link then, but there's a heritage vault. And anyone can go in there and pull up the sales literature for a lot of different vehicles from like the 60s to now. And that's where I get a lot of sales literature. But a lot of the police vehicles are listed in fleet sales. They have a brochure. The older vehicles, it's usually not, they're usually black and white, but they're right beside the cabs. So you have the cabs and the police vehicles, and they're listed in the same, almost in the same brochure. They're not in the same brochure, but this is the cab brochure, and this is the police vehicle, and this says taxi, and this says police pursuit special. So maybe I'll think about that one. I do kind of like the town car idea. I haven't done anything on straight up luxury. It's not something that I was really into growing up. Through my earlier years, I didn't really buy the bigger cars. I rode in them plenty of times, but I never bought them. So I bought plenty of personal luxury cars. I bought plenty of the muscle cars. I bought plenty of just two-door coupes, but not a whole lot of sedans in my life. So some here and there. Let's see here. Had a Ranger for a bit. It was a bad truck from the start. No kidding. O2 Power Stroke. Chip turbo wheels. Left a nice truck. Body was never up though. So yeah, like I said, I get it. Never bored. I understand. There's people that just don't like Fords. I get it for one reason or another, and a lot of people have a bad experience with them. My '09 F-150, I never got that power seat just right, and I had it for 6 years. I put 100,000 miles on the thing almost, but I could never get that power seat. That I always felt like I was in my dad's lazy boy, like I was leaning back, and I could never get the seat quite right. So I get not fitting in a vehicle. That's not common for me, especially in my Fords, but no, I get it. Yeah, that happens. New S650 variants, guesses and hopes. A Boss 302 coming back out. I kind of doubt that, Wes. I don't think you're going to see the Boss nameplate, but they waited from 1970 to 2012. It's a pretty big gap. I don't think you're going to see another Boss anytime soon. I do think you'll see the Shelby nameplate back on a Mustang here in short order. The one I had big hopes for was an all-wheel drive Mustang. I do think there's going to be a GT 500. That's inevitable. That's coming. I don't think that's a thing. You're going to see another Shelby name on a car from Ford. As far as what I'd like to see an all-wheel drive Mustang. And people are going to flip. I'd like to see a hybrid. I'd like to see electric drive front and V8 drive rear wheel. So I'd like to see ICE rear wheel, electric front, just auxiliary motors to give you a couple extra 100 horsepower in the front. But that's always been the biggest problem with Mustangs is getting them to launch. You can put lots of horsepower there, but you got to get it to the ground and get it there efficiently. And that could be done pretty easily with electric motors in the front. So I'd like to see that. Will that happen? Who knows? I mean, there was some things out there where Ford had filed a patent for a front axle through, actually kind of under an oil pan. But yeah, that was 5 years ago. So I haven't seen anything about it since. So maybe that's something they considered, and it was just too costly. They didn't think they needed it. The one thing that, if you watch some of my other videos, like the Escort and the Tempo, these were cars that Ford lost money on. And they just put them out there to try to retain a leadership position within the automotive industry. They wanted to show their stockholders that, hey, in revenue, we made this much money, and it was a ton, right? They're not as concerned with that anymore. So, the Mustangs, every Mustang they roll out now, they make money on. Every vehicle they roll out now, Ford Motor Company. Well, let me rephrase that. Every ICE vehicle that Ford Motor Company makes, they make money on. Every EV they roll out right now, they're losing their shirt. But the EVs there's not that many of them. So Ford's making money right now. People think Ford's losing because they hear about losses on the EV side. Ford broke up their business a while ago. So you have Ford ICE, which is the internal combustion engine, Ford EV, which is electric vehicle, and you have Ford Blue, which is their service branch, right? So they're three independent and fiscally tracked business units. So they're not all one. They're all under one big umbrella, but you can look at their financials independently. Ford did that on purpose and most of the other manufacturers don't do that. So whatever they're losing on the EV side, they hide that into the other numbers. So Ford makes it very apparent. If you look at their EV numbers, awful. So they're losing. You may have seen headlines that they're rolling back EV production because every one they make, they're losing money on. So it's kind of a mess. So to roll it back it's probably the smart thing to do. But all the ICE cars, Mustangs, the SUVs, obviously the trucks, they're killing it on those things, and killing it so much so that they can hide the losses on the EV side and still be profitable. So they're making money right now. So that's where that is. Let me look at the comments here real quick. Here, I've been a Ford guy, 85 Ranger. That's a good one. 71 Torino. That's good, Aaron. 95 F-150, good. Oh, I don't know about the Fusions. That's one I've considered doing too because I don't know a lot about them. 07 F-150 is good vehicle. 13 Mustangs, great vehicle. 14 Mustangs, great vehicle. Raptors, good. I don't know a lot about the Escapes, so I can't really get into those. What do I think about the collectability of carbon fiber dark horses? Will those increase in value and collectability, or will they flatline? I'm not sure about the dark horse, and I'm not sure about my Mach 1. Thank you, Stressed Out, for the question, but I don't know that they're that special. I mean, I've got the handling pack Mach 1, which is nice, and the dark horse is kind of like that. They're kind of in that same niche. They're not a lot of gobs of horsepower, but they're handling cars. Big tires, they good handling. But are they going to appreciate in value? I don't know that any of our cars are going to appreciate value anymore. We just went through that over the last couple of years. I watched the Mach 1 price market for the newer Mach 1s, and they're down. So when I paid, and I'll walk you through this so you can follow what's happened to our weird economy through COVID, but I paid $52,000 for my 2021 Mach 1. I paid $500 over invoice. That was the deal that I'd made with the dealership. A year and a few months later, almost a year and a half later, it got totaled. So the girl hit me, I get in an accident, it's totaled. The insurance company paid me $73,000 for that car because that's what it would cost for me to replace it. I then bought a new one at sticker because I couldn't do any better and had to fly to Texas and drive it back. That was $63,000. Now you can buy a used Mach 1 with low miles, so find a garage queen for 45 to 50. So that's the market. I'm not sure about the collectability of the dark horses or the Mach 1s. Maybe 20 years from now. But I can tell you one vehicle that's not collectible, at least not right now, is an EV. Because used, they're getting slaughtered. So you can check those things out, but they're getting crushed. Let me see what else is over here. As a Ford Master Tech and a shop foreman, I really enjoy your videos. Well, thank you. Thank you to a vegan. So it's nice that I'm not a tech. So I was a jet engine mechanic. I worked on C-130s and I worked on engines. So all my mechanical ability on vehicles comes from that. You know, and not a bolt's a bolt, you know, screw's a screw. Um, but thank you. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. Um, you know, it's I work on cars. I'm gonna try to figure it out myself a lot of times, just because I have a little bit of a mechanical ability and some tools. But I'm certainly not a tech by any means. So you won't see a lot of real technical stuff on my channel. If it's something I think I can do and I can document it and show somebody how to do it, and it might help them, then that's what you see. Aaron Nichols, Fusion was a good car. Let it go for the Mustang. Well, that makes sense. The Escape is a generic a commuter, college kid. Yeah. As long as they're reliable, they're good vehicles. And that's another thing I get on all my historical look backs. Um, and I laugh every time I see it because you'll see, well, I remember there was escorts everywhere. Everywhere you look, there was escorts. And why aren't there any more? They must have been junk. No, it's they were used. People used them. So it's the same reason why you don't see disposable lighters. Like you don't see Zippo lighters anymore. People used them. They're used up. People don't continue to live on. I gotta get some coffee here. Take their Escort GT, and that didn't happen. They got run, and I sold Escorts when they were new. People were buying them to work or drive wherever they were going, and they put 10 or 15,000 miles a year on a car. You can't do that for 30 years. The car's just not going to go that long. So no cars go that long. So yeah, I see that question pretty much on every Econobox video. Although the Fiestas and the Festivas are still on Marketplace. If you go on Facebook Marketplace right now, you'll find a Festiva and a Fiesta. I guarantee it. There's always one for sale somewhere. Someone, and they're driving them. They're not garage queens. People drive them. Crazy. Oh, I'm getting out of coffee, so we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. Where's my winner? David, make sure you send me that email. So I'll look for it here in a little bit. But David, send me that email. I'll get this headlamp right out to you. Thank you all for watching my channel. It is absolutely appreciated. So I started this channel because I retired. I needed something to do. And I've always liked Ford cars. I've owned lots and lots of them. So I thought, you know what I got to do is just maybe I can make videos on them. I've got a little bit of mechanical background, so I can show people some things that I'm doing. So like the active exhaust fix on the Mustang. I've got a lot of people that have watched that video. Pretty simple fix, so that's something I can show you. But yeah, I didn't think I was going to get to 15,000 subscribers. Didn't see that coming. As far as the historical look backs, those videos are going to continue. I've got a lot of cars to get through. There's a lot of them, a lot of segments I haven't even touched yet. So thank you all for hitting the like button, and thank you for subscribing. We'll try to do this again maybe when we get to 20,000 subscribers at some point, if the channel gets big enough and there's enough money coming into not to support what I'm doing, but also support a little bit, putting a little bit more into it. Maybe we'll get some guests in here, and whoever that might be, him and I can chat a little bit and throw it out to the floor. That's something I'm looking at doing in the future, but we're down the road a little bit. So for right now, we're doing great. For those that missed the updates as far as the channel announcements, I'll just run through these real quick again. Don't send me money. Don't send me super thanks. I'm not going to have sponsored content moving forward. I hate blowing through that when I watch a video. I'm never going to have members only content. I don't think that's right to do that to you. And I'm not going to get a Patreon channel. So that's not going to happen again either. So I appreciate all you watching what I do. There's going to be a couple mistakes, I'm sure, going forward. That's going to happen. But I appreciate the support out there and the kind words in the comments section. That's appreciated. And we'll do this again. I'm sure I can get another headlamp to give away. I got to maybe come up with a slightly easier to find question. Maybe that's where I got to go. So maybe I go with that. So let me just blow through the comments here one more time, see if there's anything out here. Oh, Neverboard's out. Okay. Well, I'm heading out. So it's 9:01. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. It's appreciated. If you see one of my videos, even if you don't watch it, at least hit the like button for me. That really affects the algorithm so other people see it. So that's kind of the thing that keeps it going. So that's appreciated. Thanks so much. And till we get 20,000, I guess we'll see you. And that's the end. There we go.